Hello Steelers, and welcome to another hobby report, another update this week. I went back to the Napoleonic stuff this week for the painting. I've kind of not lost enthusiasm, but I was just looking for other things over the last couple of weeks just to paint, just to stop painting the various blues and reds. But what I did was I separated out the remaining French voltigeurs that I've got in the box set, and I painted those as a bunch of them. I realised that I've actually got tons and tons of bases of these at this point, and I'll probably never need that many. What I might do is at some point go back over them and break them down a little bit and just add a few figures here and there, just to amalgamate them into fewer bases but with more figures on, if that makes sense. So what I did with these, instead of having 4 on them as I have done in the past, a couple of them I actually managed to get 5 figures on, and it makes them look a little bit more crowded, a little less spread out than the ones with 4 bases with 4 figures on them. So I might do that with some of the bases that I've done in the past. Like I say, just break them up a little bit and just mess about with them in future. But I just managed to get those finished. That's the last of the French voltigeurs that I've got at the moment anyway. So as I said, that takes up quite a lot of bases. The other thing was, just after I'd recorded last week's hobby update, in the post I got some Shadow Wolf miniatures. Somebody posted these, I think, on the Warlords Epic Facebook group, a link to them, and I was looking through them, and I think they are the MC miniatures figures, sculpts, 3D sculpts, and this whoever it is, Shadow Wolf, either prints them or is connected to them or somewhat, but they're based in the UK and they print them. So I thought, right, I'm going to dive in. I want to get some British skirmishers, because the only skirmishers that I've got are the 95th rifles, and there's only a few bases of those because they come with the Scottish boxes. So I thought, right, well, I'll get some of these ones, and they are, they're designated as epic scale, and they do fit in perfectly well with the other epic scale stuff that I've got. Ever so slightly chunkier, but it's not really, a tabletop distance. It's not noticeable whatsoever. But I got some British skirmishers because, as I say, I didn't have any red coat skirmishers. I only got the 95th, so I just wanted a bit of a mix, just to get some, normal skirmishers in there. And I was able to, from one set, it cost me I think about 20 quid in total, including postage. I was able to put together 6 bases of skirmishers from these, so I was quite happy with that. Happy with how they turned out as well. Really nice figures. What I'll do is I'll put a link to their shop down below in the description, so you can go and buy yours. As I say, they're based in the UK, so I don't know what they do, if there's other people that sell their stuff outside of the UK, but at least you can get hold of, and they've got quite a big range of things. And also, I think they are the MC figures, MC miniatures stuff that I've had printed for me from other people elsewhere. Now, unfortunately, last weekend I was going to play a version of What a Drocker, the What a Cowboy, Jewish Dread What a Cowboy version that I've kind of been working on a little bit over the last couple of weeks. And I was also going to play a game of GDA 2 down at the club as well. Unfortunately, though, on Friday morning, I actually woke up quite ill. I was able to record the hobby updates, but I just could not do much else after that. It kind of wiped out my weekend. I had a really bad cold. I'm over the worst of it now. I don't know what's happened. I think it's something that's going around, but it kind of just wiped out those 2 games for me, really, which is a bit of a shame. So I was looking forward to the GDA game on Sunday, but it is what it is. You can't help colds. However, this Thursday, last night as I record this, I was down at the club and I took Algy Pulls It Off, the First World War version of Bag the Hun, which I've played quite a lot of games of on the channel, so go and check those out. They're in, I think, the Bag the Hun playlist. Played it with Dex, Dean and Simon. Simon and Dex had never played before. Dean had played a couple of times before with me, of course. And what we were doing, we were trying out Jim Jackaman's Digger Dogfight scenario. It's something he's been writing a bunch of scenarios for. Algy Pulls It Off. I think probably for publication in probably next year's Lardy magazine, but he's been sending them over to me to playtest them. I had a couple of notes on them when I first read them, but it worked perfectly well, and it was a really, really good game. It's number 4 Australian squadron, 5 camels from there up against 5 Albatross D5As from Yasta 18, and I don't actually have the Yasta 18 Albatrosses painted up, so I just use some generic Albatross that I've got. But it was a fantastic game. Everybody loved it. Dex and I played the Germans, although I was kind of umpiring really rather than anything else, whilst Dean and Simon took on the Australians. There were absolutely no kills. There were lots of rounds fired, lots of people getting on the tail, and there was a lot of people losing control of their aircraft and spinning out of control as well, which actually played well into what actually happened in the actual dogfight itself in early 1918, with a couple of Australian pilots lost control of their aircraft, were shot down that way. But we didn't have any kills in ours. We played it full for the 10 turns. I initially thought that 10 turns might not be enough, but it actually turned out to be perfect timing. It was about a 2-hour game. We started about 7ish, finished by about 9 o'clock, all packed up and on the way home by 9:30. Absolutely fantastic. Algy is such a great game, and I have got a link. I will put a link to the rules because Richard from Too Fat Lard has allowed me to share the rules out. I'll put a link to the PDF again down below in the description of this video, so if you want to grab hold of it, do. It's played on a hex. You can play with any size figures you want. I use 1/300 scale ones, 3D printed ones I got from Paul over at Sabotaged a couple of years ago. But yes, it's always chaos, it's always good fun, and there's always a laugh whenever you're playing Algy. It is well worth looking into, definitely. And I think I'm looking forward to some of Jim's other scenarios as well of the game. So if you keep them coming, Jim, and we will play them. In the post, I've not really got anything, again, because I've just got so many epic figures really to work through. What I did do, though, is I had a massive clear out the other day, and I got rid of a load of 3D printed buildings that I'm never going to get around to painting. They've been in the boxes for forever, so I passed those over to Dex. He can now block up his house with those. A few other bits and pieces as well that I didn't really need. The one thing I did get in the post was a new A3 sized cutting mat. Mine was literally just covered in paint, so you couldn't even see anything on it. I don't even know how I was using it at this point, so I just got a brand new one just to clean things up, but I've already got paint on it from painting something I was painting the other day, so I don't think it's going to stay clean for very long. The other thing, not really in the post, but came from Dex, is a Battlefront Char Saint Chamond tank from the First World War, the French tank, the big oblong one. I've got I think a couple of these already, so this is just going to add to it. He'd bought the, I think it's the Merrill's Marauders or the US Marine Corps box set from Battlefront, and that had come with it as part of their support. He didn't need it, so he passed it over to me, so thanks for that, Dex, very much appreciated. And then once I've finished this recording, I'm going to be chatting to Dave Brown, Housewife's favourite, from GDA2 and also O Group, and we're going to be chatting about those two games. I'm going to record it and it's going to be coming up on the channel at some point. We're going to be talking hopefully a little bit about how you put history into wargaming, how important it is to games, you know, what's the difference between simulations and gaming, and just a few other bits and pieces really about game development and also rule writing and things like that. Hopefully it's going to be an interesting chat, and I'm sure it will be. And as I say, I will stick that up. That will probably come out when I put out the GDA and also the Black Powder games that I've recorded relatively recently. I also did a review of GDA 2 as well, which I will then put out at some point in future, and I'll probably put out the Dave Brown interview with us as well. So it won't be for a while because I've still got a massive backlog of things to come out at some point, so don't expect it next week or anything, but I'm looking forward to having a chat with Dave and just getting the lowdown on his rules and his rules writing. I know tomorrow is Hammerhead down in Newark. I'm not going to go, largely because I'm not particularly too fussed about going and playing games, and most of it is participation games, and a lot of it is sci-fi and fantasy, which is not really my thing anyway. But it's always a well-attended show, and it's always a good fun show as well. So I'm sorry to miss it, but I'm kind of saving up for Partisan instead, really, when that comes around. So I'll be down there filming that. But to all those who are going to Hammerhead tomorrow, enjoy yourselves. I'm sure you will. I'll be looking out for videos and for photos as people post them online over the next couple of days. I'll leave it to that. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, and it only takes a second just to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you do want to help out the channel in any financial way, please do check out the Patreon and also the channel memberships, where you will get ad-free and early access videos like this one. And I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.